This week on the Ants Nest, JackJumpers return to form, the Magnay-Lawala-Chul battle returns, and the Wildcats return to the Ants Nest. This is Tasmanian Takeover. March on, Jackies.
These JackJumpers, they just never say die.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Ants Nest. We are a for fans, by fans podcast, and all we talk about on this show is everything JackJumpers basketball. It's been a massive week for the JackJumpers, and we're looking forward to dissecting our next game against the Wildcats. But first, I need to introduce our co-host, bets.com.au, sports editor and match predictor, Jez Darke. Welcome back, mate.
Thanks for having me. Love doing this show, man. It's been exciting. Always happy to be here. Always happy to chat Tassie basketball. Become a diehard fan a few years ago. There's nothing better, and especially when we're winning. Coming off, I think it's the second time this season we've won 2 in a row. So the tides have turned. Hopefully,
absolutely crazy. And I think the last time was round 3, right? It's been a big wait between drinks. Am I right in saying have you ever been to Tassie?
No, never been.
Never stepped foot in the place.
No. From the Gold Coast, never been to Tassie, but got back on the NBL wagon. Like went to a lot of Rollers games when I was a kid, Gold Coast Rollers. And then, got back on the NBL wagon a few years ago, right when Tassie joined the league, and thought it was the perfect team. And then got to ride them through, a couple of, playoff losses and then the playoff win. So I'm stuck there now. It's really heart-wrenching that the Tasmanian Devils are coming, because I feel like I'm a part of the Tasmanian sports culture now, but I'm still a Suns fan, especially now that they're coming good and are playing postseason AFL. But it's tough.
Some would argue
that team there as well.
Some would argue that the Suns were the team Tasmania should have been. Back all those years back when the AFL made the controversial decision. But we're not here to talk about the AFL. You can join us for the Devil's Den later on this year when we start talking everything Tasmania Devils. We're here to talk about the JackJumpers and specifically their game coming up on Sunday at MyState Bank Arena against the Perth Wildcats. And it's going to be a big game for a number of players. Specifically, one I'm watching this week is Will Magnay and his monstrous game coming up against JLA. There's been some huge battles against those two this year already. Jez, what are you looking forward to about Mags' game coming up?
Yeah, like Mags is playing a different role for the JackJumpers now, I feel. You've got Bannon's taking over a little bit more the offensive side when it comes to the bigs. Like I know that they're different. One's a power forward, one's a center, but it felt like Magnay had always had that little bit of offensive responsibility. And of course, you still got to get your 10 points maybe out of Magnay each game, but it's the defensive presence, and especially in this game against the Perth Wildcats, because we've seen the last 2 games where JLA has dominated, especially the last one. But I think the focus of us needing to shut him down, not just with Magnay, but then maybe even bringing some help from Bannon, then opens up guys like Christian Doolittle. But if Magnay can do the job one-on-one on JLA defensively, it makes this game much easier, if you can say easier to control the Wildcats offense, which can certainly explode at times. And so I think this matchup is the most important 100% for me, because if he can win the one-on-one battle, it gives us the ability to shut down their other guys, and especially their perimeter shooting, which has hurt us the last 2 games when we've played Perth.
A big time. I seem to remember them having a lot of space and time. And I specifically remember the game against the Wildcats last time they played at MyState Bank Arena, and Will went off injured. I think he got a knock to his calf or his leg or something. And JLA just exploded. We didn't have a backup to go to him and get that physicalness that you need against the big guy.
Yeah.
Josh Bannon tried his heart out and did his best, but he ended up with 23 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, did JLA, and the majority of them came when Will Magnay hurt himself. So it's a big job.
And I think diving into that like a little bit more, obviously Magnay goes out and then all of a sudden you see Christian Doolittle also explode because you've got Bannon then shifting across and you're trying to play Bannon as your big, and then Doolittle for me has just gone to a whole nother level this year, and he's extremely dangerous. It's his team sort of after Bryce Cotton left. So when he has those big games and he gets space, he's an absolute danger. He's like one of the best players in the league, in my opinion, extremely underrated. So you saw like, what did he put up 30 points and 6 assists last game when we played them. And it is all just that, it's the runoff effect. I think Elijah Pepper also had heaps of space and dropped like 5 of 6 threes or something like that, because you put all that focus down low to stop a guy like JLA, and it just opens up everything else. And the Wildcats are too good in space and will put you away with the danger men that they do have. So, and it was all just a runoff of, that physical battle of JLA and Magnay, which is why we pointed it out earlier that it's the most important matchup of this game.
Absolutely. I think what we want to avoid is it becoming a bit of a shootout, which is exactly what happened last game at RAC Arena. If we get in a shootout, we don't win many. We wanted a scrappy defensive game, although they dropped 56.5% from 3 last game. And then the loss before that was also 45.8% from 3. So you see where they hurt us, and it is because we give them space out there. They've got the guys that can shoot. And it's our worst defensive stat as well. We rank 7th. If you're looking at key stats in opposition 3-point percentage. So, it's something we need to work on and be really careful with in this matchup too. Absolutely. One player who does not mind the 3 line is Majok Deng, who you've flagged as a player that you've got your eye on for this game.
Yeah, absolutely. Like it's both sides of the court for him. I think we play better when he's moving offensively, and especially if he's dropping these like big time threes that he hits, and they're often in these like critical moments of the game where you need a momentum swing. And I think that's why like we've struggled, and we'll talk about it a little bit more later in sort of what needs to lift, but having Deng coming off the bench for us, I think is extremely important. When DJ was injured, he was starting, but he's so powerful as an impact player and can shift momentum with some big defensive stops, and also some of these big offensive plays and some of these like 3-point shots that you see that are just like clutch when a game's close. 2021 can drop a 3 and give us a little bit of breathing room, or shift the score. All these big, powerful plays that you see on the screen now, where he's just getting his own rebounds and look, this sort of stuff is extremely important to us, those that are watching on YouTube, where he's just physical down low, getting hard rebounds and putting away that second chance points. And that's what we need against Perth, who have guys like JLA. We need our own impact player that can shift, especially when JLA is maybe off the court, and we need to dominate those periods of the game with our pretty stacked bench that we have with Deng and Marshall and guys like that are making a difference for us.
Yeah, 100%. One thing I have noticed that Deng has really stepped up this season, like you said, is those real nuggety, gritty rebounds and specifically the tip-ins. He's gone to another level with his just getting close to the rig and just giving it a little hand in, just rolling it in when it's rolling out, which is happening more often than not for the JackJumpers.
Yeah,
last.
that's what he was doing. That's what he was doing when we won the championship too. When he was playing off like Milton Doyle and Crawford, it was like he was the cleanup guy when they were missing shots. And I think especially in that like series against Melbourne, that was the difference maker for me and helped us win the championship as much as sort of the big guys like Crawford and that had their big games. But Deng did that exactly that gritty hard work stuff that Scott Roth certainly loves, and that's why he's one of the leaders of the team, or he's the captain of the team.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. 26 points, 11 rebounds from 35 minutes in the last game. We need him to get his big daddy long legs arms in front of some players and make their shooting from the three line very hard. Let's talk a little bit about the last time we played them back in November 21st at RAC Arena. Final score 101-95. JackJumpers went down. I think we're a sneaky chance here, Jez. This is to be their third game that they've played this week. And we're coming off an 8-day rest. They're currently, as we record this, 5th on the ladder, which is only one above us, by the way. And I think only one win above us. But it was a pretty physical but high-scoring encounter at the RAC Arena. Christian Doolittle, 30 points. JLA and David Duke, both 19. What do you remember from this game, and what can we take out of it?
Yeah, well, like they controlled this game quite well. They won the first 3 quarters. They had a pretty good lead going into the last quarter. We lost by 6, so they had a 10-point lead coming into the quarter, and they just, you want to say that they played safe, but they didn't. They were still shooting a lot from 3, but they had that 56.5% from 3. I don't think you can expect that again, which helps us because they were just shooting so clinically. So but like I just see that we need to really focus on just winning that harder battle, like we've talked about. If we win that battle, we're more than a chance. And I think now that we're starting to work out how our offense works, but then also more importantly for us, we talked a little bit off air about just defensively what we need to do here to sort of shift it. And I think we didn't do that in this game. Like you said, it was a high scoring game. We don't like games that are 101-95. They're not games that we win very often. So we need to avoid that. And that's by, being a little bit harder, making it harder for them to shoot from 3 so they don't have this 56.5% 3-point percentage at the end of the game that's going to absolutely rock us. So, yeah.
Absolutely crazy. It's almost like Bryce Cotton never left. Bryce Cotton went to Adelaide, but he left his bloody 3-point percentage behind.
But it was just crazy. Like you look at the numbers, like their individual numbers there. It was like Doolittle 5 from 7 from 3, Duke Jr. 3 from 5. You know, everybody. Mayan dropped 2 from 3. like that doesn't happen. I don't think we can expect that to happen again. And we need to make sure we need to do what we can do and what we can control to make sure that doesn't happen again in this game on our home court.
Absolutely. But look, if we want to have some individual performances like we did last game, Josh Bannon scoring 29 points and 9 rebounds, Majok Deng 26 points. We don't mind that, but just keep Perth to 60, please. JackJumpers, that's how we play.
Yeah, and Magnay wasn't there. Magnay didn't play that game. So and Deng started. Deng played 35 minutes. So you're not getting that anymore. It's going to be a very, very different game. We're going to match up better, like we said, defensively with Magnay on JLA. So, I expect a very, very different game on Saturday. And like you said, they're coming off playing Sunday. I think they play, Wednesday or Thursday. So they've had a pretty tough schedule, even though their game, I think in round 13 is at home. They still need to back up and travel. It's a long trip to Tasmania. So
absolutely.
I hope it's horrible. I hope the bad weather sticks around all week and
hopefully
in Perth and they struggle to get out and have a late start. Everything helps.
That's what we need. Make it happen, Hobart Airport. let's let's move on to our who needs to lift section, and this is not a beat down by any means this week. I've got my who needs to lift as Nick the Dart Stoddart, which is an interesting one because he hasn't had that many minutes. And what I'm calling on is for Scott Roth to give him more minutes. He only played 1 or 2 minutes against the Cairns Taipans, but he scored a very quick 2-pointer. And honestly, when the dart comes out, things happen. And I for the life of me, can't get my head around why he hasn't had more minutes. How have you seen his season, Jez?
Yeah, like I'm scrolling through sort of the amount of minutes that he's played right now, and yeah, it's not a lot. And he seems to still put up points when he does get a chance. He's taking some shots and getting involved, but it's just not happening often enough. But I think like lately, I can sort of put it down to segue into what I think we need to lift, and that's our starting five. I feel like we can get into that starting five by saying that Stoddart's maybe not getting the minutes that he needs because we're chasing our ass for most games at the moment. We're starting too slow to be able to give maybe these development players or, our 8 or 9, 9 or 10 probably in Stoddart's case, really giving them an opportunity to have some sort of safe minutes. Because these games are so close, or we're always trying to bring back a lead. And I think that's how it sort of moves into what I think we need to do. The last 3 games, we've just been getting smashed. We've had like double-digit deficits after the first quarter. The 2 games we had last week were crazy. We were down, 27-36 against Southeast Melbourne, 21-13 against Cairns. And then it was even worse in 28-14 against New Zealand in that loss. So, whoever's on the court, we made a shift and changed our starting 5 this previous week. And I think it's had its benefits, but at the same, like especially with Deng. Deng was starting previously, and now I think he's much better as an impact player. But something's not working. We're coming out of the blocks too slow because like it's giving us heart failure as JackJumpers fans because you're just like, fuck it, the game's over already. And then, we slowly crawl back and it's, great. We're getting this grit and grind and getting these wins, but you need to put yourself in a better position. It's not durable to be facing sort of 10-point deficits after the first quarter because your whole game plan has to change. So I want to see that lift, and then that way we can get players like Stoddart to come in and drop a couple of threes. Like he was phenomenal at the back end of last year when he come on the scene and was just like, that's what you want. No pressure situations for these younger guys because you put them in pressure situations obviously makes their role much harder. So you want to put them in when we've got a bit of a lead. They can relax a bit more, and you're going to see a better Nick Stoddart if we're in a better position when we put him on.
I had him tipped as the next Shawnee Mac Stoddart. I just thought I was so happy when they gave him a roster spot off the DP list because I really thought he earned it late last year.
Absolutely.
So if he's on the list, Rothy, give him a go. He was so good, and especially I think when it's tight, because that's when he seems to shine. He seems to be a bit of an occasion player, and he knows when the team needs him. So that's what I'd like to see.
At the back end of last year, it was like awesome. He was dropping 4 from 7 from the field, 3 from 5 from the field, 5 from 8 from the field. Like they were in sort of January, February last season when. Obviously, I don't know, the Jackie season was almost gone by then, but that was when he got his minutes and he showed that he definitely has the talent to do it at the NBL level. So it's just getting him in the right situations now, I think, to lift and develop that type of player.
You remember that game against Adelaide where we went to overtime where he dropped those 3 threes in 3 minutes and basically set the tone for the night. Went 100% from 3. Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah. Yeah, and then he hit 3 for 5 against SEM like a week later. So, like, you see the potential. So, yeah, I completely agree with you. I think it's a big call that we want to, we need these development players. You want them to stay in the Tasmanian system. They need to get their minutes. But our guys need to give him the opportunity, I think, which would really help.
Yeah, great point. And to do that, we need to start shutting down some opposition players. So we're going to move on to our key matchup this week. We've talked a lot about Will Magnay versus Joe Lualachul. I think we've probably picked the eyes out of that. Another one which I am really interested to see is to see the two heavyweights of the league go at it in Hamilton and Christian Doolittle this week. Who do you see winning that battle?
Oh, it's tough. Like, I think the advantage we have right now is I think Christian Doolittle, gave him heaps of credit at the start, but he's had sort of 2 quiet games. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. So in Perth, 2 games in round 12. I think he scored under 10 points in both of those games, didn't have his usual sort of double numbers, which he's been getting. So felt like that emotional loss to Bryce Cotton and Adelaide sort of took it out of Doolittle a little bit. You obviously saw that sort of tear open jersey photo that's been going around after he sort of missed that key shot. So he was a little bit off. So we hope that just sort of holds a little bit through to the end of round 13 or 14 or wherever we are at the moment. Because like he's an absolute danger. Like, he dropped 29 last time. So we need to be better defensively on him, win that physical battle. And like Hamilton, we've gone through the whole show and even our review show of last week and haven't mentioned him at all. But so I think we just expect,
so nice.
we just expect that now. I think we're comfortable with what Bryce Hamilton is. And I think on any night like this, matchup can go either way. But I think with Doolittle being a little bit off and us playing a little bit better and having David Johnson as well, I think we can see another 20-plus point performance from Hamilton and even a few more assists, and he'll do what he has to do in his job offensively for us to win this game.
Absolutely. Look at it, my mouth just waters. Look, I hope Doolittle's confidence takes a battering. The Ant Army are always very respectful at MyState Bank Arena, and I know that we always love to have a bit of banter with Joe Lualachul, but save a bit for Christian Doolittle as well. Ant Army, there's share the love around, but always do it in a respectful way.
JLA almost went to Tassie, right? I think there was rumor at the end of last year that there was rumor in the fan page that JLA was even going to make a move to Tassie, and it was very mixed emotions. I can tell you that much in the group chat. Some people were like, "It'll be the best thing," and others are just like, "Nah, he's a dog." Like people are pretty hostile on JLA, so it's going to be a good one.
It would have been a pretty controversial move for the JackJumpers to make. I think to get JLA down, because if there's one player the fans jeer as hard as they cheer our players, it's JLA. He's not a popular man in Hobart.
Yeah, but if Doyle can go to Melbourne United, then then the Tassie can take JLA. It's all from that sort of period.
We'd learn to love him, I guess.
Yeah.
Very good. All right, that is all we have time for this edition of the Ants Nest. Thank you so much for joining us. If you get a chance, do go back and listen to our review episode of the Cairns Taipans. It was a happy time, that episode. 2 wins in a row. We're about to make it 3. Go back and watch that. And tell me who you've got your eye on this week in the comments as well. Jez, thanks so much for coming. Did you want to plug anything while you're here?
No way. JD, it was a pleasure. I'm here for you, mate. It's all big love. And Berto. I can't wait till Berto comes back. I want to do a show with the two of you.
100%, mate. Looking forward to Berto coming back. He should be, what is it, the 14th? He flies back into town on the 19th. We may have a very special episode coming up where me and Berto are actually in the same room for the first time ever. I've never met Berto face to face. So it's yeah, I know, but he's I don't know if you've been listening. He's right into his colognes at the moment, so I'd be the stinky one in that situation. So
I
looking
don't
forward to
know.
that.
With all the drinking, it feels like he's been doing while he's away. He's been on a work trip, but I'm just seeing all this rock and roll photos going up on the socials. So I don't know. You
There
can
hasn't
only
been much
hide that
work done
alcohol
over there.
stench with so much cologne. So we'll see. Big sourpuss Berto. All this exercise and stuff he's been doing, dropping weight. So I don't know. You might be all right.
I might be all right. Hopefully, yeah, the smell of Bundaberg rum overpowers the smell of my body odor.
Bring your boxing gloves to that match.
Thanks again, mate. That is
Thank
all
you.
we've got time for. As always, march on, Jackies.